This is class 10th, code 402. We are talking about employability skills, information and communication technology skills, unit number 3. Basic computer operation. We will be talking about computer, tablets, laptops. All these are computing devices. What are the basic operations that we do always? So that is what we are going to see today. ICT. Under basic computer operation, ICT, this word you will hear. This is information and communication technology. ICT stands for information is data which is having some meaning. Communication is talk, say between two parties, multiple parties. So communication and information, the technology which is combining this, or the methods, tools, concepts related to storing, recording and sending the digital information. So whenever we talk about information, we are talking about digital information here, data. So digital is in the form of 0, 1. Previously, we used to have analog communication, analog kind of data storage. Now we have digital form. So information, this, as I said, data, which is, this can be interpreted and have some meaning. This can be recorded in certain way. Previously, we used to write it on paper. Then we started typing it through typewriter. And then now we have keyboard. So now we can input the data through keyboard. And in your mobile, there is virtual keyboard. So this information, when this information is stored, and this is recorded on electronic devices. I'm talking about all the devices. Storing means, recording means, once you shut it off and again shut it on or power it on, the data should remain there. This is the digital form. So in these electronic devices, we have wiring, soldering, diode, triode. There are so many electronic things there. In all the tablets and mobiles you are day-to-day dealing with. The data is in digital form. Digital form is in the form of 0101. So this 801 formation is called a byte. And then we have, this is the minimum say counting or unit. Byte becomes kilobyte, then megabyte, then gigabyte, and so on and so forth, gigabyte, etc. So this 0 and 1, the form is, the data is 0 and 1. This is digital form. So ICT, information and communication technology devices, are generally when we talk about tablets, smartphones and laptops. So how did this help us? The smallest one we have in our hand is the mobile. So these all have operating system. That is why we are calling now the mobile as smartphones, smart mobiles. For example, we have Android operating system, Apple iOS operating system. Similarly, in laptop, the form factor changes, the size changes. Mobile is smaller, then we have a laptop, which is somewhat bigger, and in between we have the tablet. So this is the screen side. I'm talking about the form factor. So in between this laptop and the mobile, we have tablet. So all these power resources, computing resources, all these are somewhat different here, depending upon the size. There are mobiles which are more powerful than computer also today. So ICT skills, it helped us in various ways. It helped us to communicate, to talk. Even the businesses are running on it or helping it. And also the social life. We can be connected to our friends and family. So now it is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Everyone, you and me, need to learn, need to acquire knowledge about this ICT. So have to have an ICT skill. We need to get updated, stay updated about the latest software and applications. This is now mandatory for everyone. You cannot just ignore it now. That I don't know, I'm not technological savvy, I just don't want, just please help me. No, you have to, everyone has to do it now. So the software in normally the laptops, the workstation, etc., we call them as softwares. Software are nothing but a program written in certain programming language. Now, when this software is in your mobile or tablet, it becomes apps. There are smaller software, you can say. Computer it has two main parts, or you can say two main pillars. One is hardware, the other one is a software. So a computer system or a computing device consists of two main parts, hardware and the software. The physical part or the tangible part which you can see and touch is hardware, like this monitor. Hard means it has to be, the meaning is very clear, hard. So you are able to touch it, feel it. So the machinery of a computer, it can have, say, keyboard, a monitor, CPU, RAM, ROM, the motherboard. All these are hardware. Now, what is the second pillar of any computing device? Is a software. So software, we cannot see it. It is intangible. But basically, these are instructions written in certain programming language. And now these instructions instruct the computer or the computing device to do what? For example, we write code in C, C++, Java, Python. We are not able to see it. We can just feel it, the result that, okay, A plus B we have written. We are getting the result of addition. This is the instruction. So Windows 8 can only be seen. It cannot be, it can be felt, but cannot be touched. So this operating system is a software, is the basic software, which will make the hardware work the way we intend to do it. We have certain instruction on the basis of which the hardware is going to run. See this monitor. This is a physical device. So whenever we start a program, for example, a game, it will be displayed on the monitor. It will show you text, it will show you images, it can show you videos and whatnot. So hardware is dormant without software. Software is the life, is the key, is the brain, everything for a hardware. Because without software, hardware has no meaning. It will run only because we have certain software, code written. There are certain programs also, there are certain coding which is done in your hardware only, that are called hardwired program. For example, BIOS, for example, POST. BIOS is basic input output system. Before, when you push your button of on your computer or computing device, the BIOS will run. And that is, if you see, your computer will have HP or a Lenovo coming. How does it is coming when the operating system is still not being handed over the control. This is through BIOS, and this is already hardwired. These are hardwired. POST, power on self-test, BIOS. So this is BIOS and POST are hardwired program. Basically, they are software only, but they are hardwired. So these are the example of certain software in which we can do various daily activities like making presentation, like some typing activities, some gaming, or various other things like say social media, browsers. So mobile devices like our smartphones and tablets, these are all coming under this computer system only because they also have a hardware and a software. And all depends on this form factor. Form factor is the size. For example, you have 5-inch, 4-inch, 3-inch. So these comes at a mobile. If it goes up to 10-inch screen, then it becomes a tablet. The screen I'm talking about is always computed diagonally, the size. If it goes up to 14, 15, then it becomes say a computer, personal computer, or a laptop. 30-inch, it may be a workstation. So we have hardware also and software also here. This is the smallest form factor. The higher one is this one, and the more higher one this one. There are others also which we are not talking about. We are just talking about what we should discuss now, because they are mainframes, they are workstations, there are servers, they are supercomputers. So there are so many computing devices, and they all have hardware and software. All are having different form factors. So software plus hardware. This hardware have electronic devices. Software are the instruct the hardware devices to do certain thing. For example, the processor. The processor is the main processing unit inside this. So operating system is the key software. There are softwares, so key software is operating system. For example, in your house, your mother is earning, so she is the operating system. Your father is earning and he is taking care of every one of you. He is the operating system of your house. That is, all the software like you, me, and you, your sister, all are dependent on your operating system. Operating system is also your father is making home, your mother is making home, buying home and making food, everything operating system is doing. So your father, mother can be, you can understand like this. So when the system will, you'll switch it on, it will check all the hardware parts whether they are running successfully or not. Means they have to be in a working condition. So once this is done, this is called BIOS. So we have hardwired program already in ROM, read-only memory. So when the initial BIOS or POST, power on self-test is done, now the control is given to operating system. Now the computing system will be dealt or will be handled by operating system. Before that we have BIOS, which is already done by the hardware, but after that now it is all by operating system. So operating system we have on laptops and desktops like Ubuntu, Microsoft Windows, Mac OS. Ubuntu is basically a Linux version, Linux. Mobile devices, computing devices, they also have operating system now. We have Google Android. Now every Samsung mobile has an Android operating system. Apple has iOS operating system. So these are different operating systems which are running the hardware. So all computer application like the browser, games, office tools, these are all software programs. As I said, operating system is also a software, but is the biggest software. And operating system is an interface between your hardware and software. So whatever you do today, either on any computing devices, these are mere applications or software which are running on certain operating system and which are on the background holding, or you can say controlling the hardware to give you output. So these are different operating systems which I wanted to show you: iOS, Android, Windows, we have, and BlackBerry. So operating system is basically a very big software which is controlling the different software which are installed on it, and also different hardware which are there in that computing devices. So again, let me tell you, operating system is an interface between hardware and software. It by itself it is a software, though operating system are generally written in assembly language. The first thing first is, whenever you wake up in the morning, what do? You start a computer. Even if you buy a computer, you start a computer. So how does it work? Let me take a real life example. Now you see here, before powering it on, now when a kid wakes up and the father or mother tells, do your homework just now. You have just woken up. You need to be first, you had 8 hours of sleep. Now you have to go to toilet, loo, pee. You have to do brush, breakfast. Then only you will be ready for the day. You can now relate it to computer. When you switch on the computer, you cannot directly give the commands. So when the computer is switched on, there are certain background basic process. The computer has to check all the different parts which are making a computer. That is a RAM, that is a ROM, that is a hard drive, processor, all these peripheral devices, whether they are working or not. Only then the computer will be ready to take your instruction. So these are the basic processes and functions which are done before a computer can take your instruction. So we have BIOS, basic input output system, and the POST, power on self-test. All these are run to find out whether RAM is working properly or not, hard drive is working properly or not, the monitor is working properly or not. So now when this is done, the computer or the hardware will give control to operating system. So now operating system is open. You can log in now and start working. Now it can take your instructions. So whenever you switch on your computer, before giving you instruction, or before the computer can take your instruction, this is what you see. There are certain instructions which are running. So in the morning, if you wake up, you need at least a cup of tea, 5 or 10 minutes to make that sleep go away, which is still in your eyes. So in order to be available or ready for the day, you need some time. Similarly, computer also needs some time. So this is the basic input output system. That is all input output system peripheral devices which are computer connected, whether they are working in the way the computer would want, or they are technically or say electronically well or not, they are medically fit or not, in electronic terms. So BIOS does a self-test. So this all self-test is done. Once this everything is okay, now BIOS will now load operating system. Operating system will not be loaded at first. BIOS, POST will be done, and then BIOS is actually a hardware program. It is a software, but it already in the ROM. It is already hardwired in the form of wire and diode and triode and all those electronics background. So this operating system is now loaded by the BIOS once all the other things are being checked, and now this operating system will get up it will run, and now it is ready to take your inputs, user inputs. Before that, you will not be able to give instruction. You have to sit for 5-10 minutes or say 2-3 minutes, then only things will be done. Log in and log out. This is your house. This is your house door. Now, whenever you come inside your house, you always have a lock and key. Whenever you go out, you will always lock and key, means lock your house. Why do you do that? Because this house belongs to you and you don't want any other person to enter. Similarly, in computer also, in computing devices also, you have a lock and key, and that lock and key is corresponding to, is similar to username and password in your computer, in your computing device. So whenever you go out, you log out. That is, you log out and allow other person to enter. Sometimes if you don't lock your house, it is highly likely that people who have malicious intent, who are criminals, they can come inside. Okay, they can give rise to some theft. So just like we keep our cupboards locked, we need to keep our computer also locked when we are not working. That is, the data inside your computer is like the valuable items you have in your house. So you don't want any unauthorized person to see or make changes to your information if you have not permitted him or her. In order to do this, make sure your computer is logged always. You have different keys, like your father, your mother, or say your wife have different keys. Means they also have their keys to enter the house. That is, there are people who are working on this computer, they will have some login ID and password which is equal to the key or the lock in your house. So when you log in your computer, a login ID, that is login identification, and password code. So you have a different space for different people in your computer, so that place is reserved for your data, the other place is reserved for the other person. So no other person, unauthorized person can enter, and once you finish your work, you can log out, other person can enter. When you shut down your computer, that is, you're working on a computer, now you want to shut down your computer. So what do? Whenever you sleep, you switch off your this light. So this is the general practice. Similarly, while you're not working in your computer, maybe you are not working maybe for 1 or 2 days. Today, laptop can go to hibernation, etc. But when you switch off or turn off your computer, the way it was shut, or you can say whenever you do shut down, you have to think about how it was powered on. Because when it was powered on, there was BIOS, there was post. So operating system was given control. Operating system did so many activities like the memory management, like the resource management, all these. Now, when all these things have been done, the ladder or the way, the path, the process, it was being turned on, you have to turn off or shut down in the similar way. You cannot just press the button and assume that your system will work fine the next time. So there are ways, there is a proper procedure to shut down your computer. So if you want to actually power off your computer, you shut down. If you just want to go out, allow other person to enter, you can log out. If you're going for say some short work, you can lock your screen, lock screen. And if your some application is not working properly or some problem is there, you can restart your computer. The thing is, there are different ways, locking this screen, log out, suspend, shut down, all these are there. Keyboard. If I give you the schematic of a computer or any computing device, there are 3 key parts. One is input, one is output, the middle one is processing. So until you give any input, what is the use of output or processing? So there are certain ways in which you can give input. This is through mouse, joystick, and the most common one is the keyboard. This keyboard. There are different types of keyboard, QWERTY keyboard, ASDF keyboard, different types of keyboards are there. So this keyboard may not be your keyboard. Your keyboard might be different. You also have a virtual keyboard now. You can enter through your finger. So you can type text, numbers and command into the computer. So basically you are inputting things. How many parts we can divide this keyboard, or what are the keys you have? Function keys. This function key, normally we have 12 function key, 11 to 12 function keys here. So F1 to F12, these are the function keys, and they have very specific function. Normally we see if we press F1, whichever program you are working upon, the help will open. So help will open whenever you press F1, and this is true for other function keys also. So as I said, there are different keyboards. This keyboard might not be your keyboard. So some keyboards, they may have fewer or lesser function. But what are the keys? These are the control keys I am showing you. These control keys are control, the space bar. This is the space bar is the longest one. Shift, Alt, caps lock, tab. Tab is for 4 spaces. Caps lock is for to make the character uppercase or lowercase. Alt is a combination of key. You combine this Alt, for example, Control Alt delete, or say Shift delete will delete everything without sending it to the recycle bin. Now you have this another set of keys. You see here Enter key. This is also a big key. It is L-shaped. So this is Enter key. So the label on this key can be either Enter or Return. Basically it was called carriage return earlier. That is why this is Return. So this is used to send commands and to confirm a task. This also depends on what application you are working. So most of the time you are saying yes to something. Punctuation keys. Whenever you are typing, you need punctuation mark because you are maybe writing in English or some other language. For this you need colon, semicolon, question mark, single question, there's single quotes and double quotes. So there are certain keys here, and these are the punctuation mark key. Some of the punctuation mark can directly be accessed. Some of them can be accessed using Shift. Because in a key there are two labels or symbol being shown. The upper one will be only accessed pressing Shift. Navigation key. Whenever you move, you are in motion, you say you are navigating. Similarly here, home, arrow keys, and page up, page down. So this is used to move up and down, right, left. You have to go up and down, page up, page down. While you are typing something, you have to go to the front or to the end. This is done through navigation key. This is all about voyage, motion, moving around a page or the document. So these are the navigation keys. So these keys will help you to easily navigate through the software, through the program, through the app, or through your document. Then we have the command keys. Command keys, for example, I am writing APK. Now just insert at P and press D. The P will be replaced by D. This is insert. Delete is what? Delete will always delete the character coming after delete. Backspace will always delete the character which is coming before it. So insert has to be turned on and turned off whenever you want it. Delete and backspace is also there to remove type text, characters, and there are other things also it does. So if you see here, we have these are combination. So these are command keys, as I said, insert, delete, backspace. So if you see the above one, it is showing the command keys. These in green you can see the command keys, and the arrow is also pointing to the command key. So it depends on which software, which application you are working on. Since we have keyboard as an input device, one more device to easily maneuver, to easily navigate and move on the screen is mouse. So mouse has a left button, it has a right button, it has a central scroll. So the right button is normally the right click and left click. One is for your enter, the other is for opening the menu. The scroll is for scrolling, or you can say navigating through the document or the application or the browser. So mouse is a small device. It looks like a mouse that you can move. You can use to move, select, open items on your computer screen or your device. So this is right click, left click, and scroll. So we have certain options which we can perform using a mouse. Drag and drop, double click, single click, hover. So let me take a proper example here. So I'll just take you to a new folder here, and this is new folder. Now I'm trying to show you how mouse works. This is the mouse, the arrow. Now I'm opening new, I'm right clicking and then opening a new document. Say it's a Word document. And let us say I name it as doc1. What I can do again is, if I just pull it, it drags, and leave it. Pull and leave, it will be equivalent to copy. You can also right click and delete it whenever you want. So now because I deleted it or cut it, Control V I'm doing. So it is copying, Control V. I'm using keyboard now. You can right click and copy and paste also through mouse. I have made 2 documents. Now let us make some other one, say bitmap image. This new bitmap image. So you see here, when I move, what happens? When I'm moving it, the blue line, if you see the blue broad line, it is like hovering. I'm saying the mouse is used to hover and say go from one place to another. So this is rolling over and hover, I'm trying to tell you. So this is we are hovering. We are going or moving. So this is rolling over or hovering. Okay. Now, then point and click. If you just hovering, you're not clicking. But when you hover and then click, it's single click. Now you are selecting. When I am double clicking it is opening. Single click is for selecting, double click is for opening. And when you don't click, you are just hovering. So first you hover, then you single click, then you double click. This is the whole procedure you will do. Point and click you have seen. Then you have drag and drop. For that, let me make a new folder. So I'm making a new folder here. And now I'm just taking my mouse, clicking, and now I'm not, I'm pressing the finger, I'm not leaving it. And now I'm dragging it in, putting it above this new folder. So now this, I have taken a document, dragged it and put it on a new folder. Now this document is now in a new folder. As I said, first I hovered, single clicked, double clicked, and then I also dragged it. And when I dragged it, I just opened the new image, which is actually blank right now. Right click, left click, right click will show you all the options. Also, the number of software which you have, they will also come here. They will also show you that what all possibilities you have. I can cut it. I can paste it here also. So I have to cut the document from new folder, pasted it again to the same place. I can also delete, right click and delete. So there are a number of options which are there. More options you try, more you will learn. So this is how you work on a mouse or with a mouse. Now coming to the question and answer. This is the NCERT answer I'm going to show you. This is the book answers. First one is, which of the following functions is not performed using a mouse? Not performed. As I just told you, we hovered, we right click, we dragged and drop, but turn on is not there. Turn on, mouse is not doing. You just have to physically do it. Physically press a button that will turn on your computing device or computer. Second one is, what is the term used when you press and hold the left mouse key and move the mouse around? Move the mouse around. So if I told you, this is what I did. I dragged it and placed it over a new folder so that it went to a new folder. So this is dragging. The answer is dragging. So this is the term used to press, hold like this. And here are the steps that takes place when starting a computer. Rearrange the steps in the correct order. So what do you do first? First thing, what do you do? First thing, when you open a computer or turn on your computer, first thing will be BIOS, and that will do the power on self-test, POST. So power on self-test will start first. This is the first thing. And then this I'm indicating as 1. Then we have operating system now starts. Once the post is done, the control is given to operating system. Now it is starting. When the operating system is starting, you will get a welcome screen. That welcome to this operating system. Then what do you get? Then you get a login screen. So it will ask for your credential, login and password. Once you log in and password, then a desktop will appear after login. And here you can start your work and start you giving your instructions. So C, D, E, V, A like this. What is the function of the enter key? So enter key or carriage return. So when you see the label of the key, it will be either enter or return. And this depends on the brand of the computer you have. The enter or the return key is used to move the cursor. I'll just show you an example. This is our document. Let me open it through mouse. And I'm going to type here something. When I type, I am typing it through keyboard. Let me just expand it. Now if I enter, it will go to the next line. So enter is used for various purposes. If I close this file, if I cancel this file, I want to say close this file. So all these options, they are taking it as enter. If you press enter, it will be saved. So for confirmation also, this enter is used. So for editing also it is used, for confirmation also it is used. So it moved to the cursor to the beginning of new line. In some program, it is used for confirmation also. How will you prevent others from using your computer? So you have a house. How do you prevent people from coming inside when they are unauthorized? You have not given them permission. You use a lock and key it. Means you close your door through lock. It can be a normal lock, it can be an interlock, it can be a digital lock. So if you want to prevent computer from any authorized access, then you must have a login and password so that nobody can enter. So this will ensure that no unauthorized person or any person who wants some unauthorized access, he wants to see and make changes. The ID and password, these are like key, and they are to be used by anyone who want to enter this, because it will match the computer database. Then only it will let you in. Okay, this is all about this discussion.
In a computer or any computing device, everything is file. Whether it be any operating system, we deal with files. How to perform basic file operations on these files. So we are going to see here with examples. In any school, in any office, or in any establishment, mostly the employee or the teacher, they are given their separate cabinet. Why they have a separate cabinet? Because they are keeping their stuff, they are keeping their files. For example, teacher will keep files of different students or classes on a separate shelf. For example, maths teacher will keep, say, maths 9th class, 10th class in one cabinet, second cabinet, like this. So that is, they will keep it so that it is arranged and they can be accessed easily. Similarly, in the computing devices, here we are talking about computers. So the files, or we say the data or information, is kept in the form of electronic files. Electronic files that we generally call as files. For example, this is your closet. Now your brother is also keeping his stuff. Your sister, your mother, your father, everyone is keeping their stuff. So how will a single person, when he is in need, how is going to see, watch, find, then retrieve, access? It will be very difficult if everyone has everything everywhere. So better is to plan them, better is to divide them, and this is done using separate folders. Because electronic file, they are ways we can manage them easily on computers with operating system help. So we can copy these files, move, rename, delete also. For example, we can make one file, keep all our songs in the one folder, all the song files. For example, 2021, you can make a folder. You can also make a subfolder inside this. One can be personal, one can be official. You can also move the file from one folder to another. Sometimes the folder is obsolete, you can delete it. Sometimes you would want to change the name, you can change the name also. So what we understood is, these are the basic are the files, but they need to be kept in certain, say, partition, or you can say a folder. So right one is the Linux screenshot, and the left one is how we put folders, make folders or available folders in Windows. Files and folders in computers, in operating systems. All information that we have are stored in our computing device in the form of files. For example, if you have a file, you're going to an interview, what do? You will have a folder. Inside this, you will put your 10th grade, 12th grade, your some competition you have won, all the certificates you will keep inside them in a folder. And these different 10, 12, all these grade passing is your files. Now when you'll go to interview, you'll open this folder and you'll show whatever they want. That is, every file in a computer also, they have a file name and they have a file extension. File name can be anything, but file name extension signifies something, file type. For example, we have a name Ajay Bhandari. Now in the same class or in the same office, we have Ajay Chauhan also, and you say Ajay, who is going to stand up, who is going to come to you? It will be a confrontation. Basically, Ajay Bhandari will identify the actual person. Ajay Chauhan will be other person. Similarly, file name is the name and extension is the type with separated by a dot or a period. For example, you just want to write something. So you need just a text file. So every software deals with different kind of files. A window media player which is playing the media, audio or video file will not be able to open a text file. So this ajay.txt will only contain the text content. A doc file will contain text content along with some image and all those added things. .jpg will only have image. It cannot have say a video. For that you have to go to mpeg. mp3 will only have sound. So for example, you can make a folder of 80s song, 90s song, and this mp3 file will be opened only in Winamp, only in VLC player, only in some audio video player. So this is how a folder will be seen normally, and there can be number of multiple files you can keep with certain partition. So hundreds of folder you can make, hundreds of file you can keep. The limitation is only the size of your drive, right? Now what comes after dot will tell you what kind of file it is. For example, an image file, it can have an extension of PNG, it can have an extension of JPG. They all have different, they are image files, but JPG is a compressed format, GIF, graphical interchange format, MOV is a video file. So by extension, we can find out what kind of file it is, and this by extension, the application or the operating system will know with which software, with which app it has to open. For example, a .php file, okay, personal home page. So this is related to the browser, or you can say the web pages. It's a server side script. So there are different file extension that will tell you what you can write, what the content can be, and what application or what work it does, and which application or which software is able to handle it. This all creating a file. So first you have to, either you can create a folder, then you can create a file, or vice versa. Just take an example that we have a new student which is Neha, and she has just joined a class. Now teacher always create or keeps the information of every candidate of the class. So now the teacher wants to keep the information of Neha also. So now what she will do, teacher, she will open a text editor, open a blank document, open notepad, type the content, save it for further use, further accessing. So you can use it. If this is Ubuntu, you can open a text editor, give the name, type the content, save it. This is Ubuntu. Though I don't have Ubuntu, I will show it in the say Microsoft Windows. Similarly, creating a folder. Folder is nothing but a name or a icon which will contain the files inside it. By itself, folder has no meaning until you have file inside it. So you can open a folder, it will ask you for a name, and then this folder can be used to keep file. Folder, new folder, always new folder will come, the name will be new folder. Now you can change the name. Now you will try to keep, or you will arrange these folders, and with the name you will be able to access, okay, this is my video folder, this is my document folder, this is my say MTech or BTech folder. So the Ubuntu, Linux or Windows, the method is absolutely same, no change, or a little bit of change. So now I'm going to show you the hands-on or the example. This is a location where I want to create a folder, create a file. So this is a new folder icon. You can either click it, or you can do the right click. You are creating, or I am creating a new folder. Always the name will be new folder by default. Now I want to change the name. I want to keep all the documents inside this folder. So I have named it as documents. Now I can wait one more, just click it. you will see new folder. Now I want all the images to be kept in this folder. So first folder will contain all the documents. Second folder will contain all the images. Now I just double clicked it. Now I have come inside this. Again I can double click it. I came inside, but I didn't find any file because I haven't made it. Now I'll make a new file because it is a document. Let me make a document because I have Microsoft Word. So that's why I am making a new file. Let me name it as 1. So this is a Word document. So when I will double click it, because it has an extension of either .doc or .docx, it will by itself automatically will be opened in Microsoft Windows. That is one of the application of the Microsoft Office suite. It will directly open. Now you can just copy it and paste it. If I go to the properties, I can show you that this is .docx. If you see the type of file, this is .docx. So I can make a new file, or even I can copy. I am clicking it, Control C I am doing, with Control and C I am pressing together, and Control V I am doing. So it is pasted with a copy word attached to it. Now I am renaming it to 2. So now I don't want this Word document. I want a plain text. So I am making a plain text. This is a new text document. I right clicked it because I have it. This application software automatically I made a file. So when I open it, it will automatically be open in a text editor, which is Notepad, because I made it as a Notepad file. So the extension is simply .txt here, not docx or doc. I can also right click and open it in my choice because I have Notepad++. I right clicked and purposefully opened in Notepad++. Otherwise it would open in Notepad. So this is also my choice. So now we have made a folder and 3 files I showed you. Now let us go to another folder image. Now let us make a file here. This is my new bitmap image. This has an extension of .bmp, that is bitmap image. I can have a file which can have a JPG extension. It can be GIF, it can be PNG, so there are so many. When I double clicked it, because the default application to open is this, it opened it. Now I'll just open this with say some paint. I have so many to open. I chose paint. Now I'll try to do something. Let me make an ellipse. Now I'm saving it. So I made a file. This file has some content also inside it because I made an ellipse. Now I'm opening it. Now you'll see that ellipse. So this is how we make a file. Then I can change it. I can save it. I can also Control C, Control V. I can just press Control, and by pressing Control I can just drag it and leave it. By pressing Control and dragging it and leaving it, it will copy also. Let us make it as some 2. I can also change this name of the file anytime. I can move it, I can delete it also. I am right clicking it and deleting it. So I deleted it also. Copied also. Control C, Control V. Control C is for copy, Control V is for pasting. Now I just have one file. I am just cutting it, and now I am pasting it in my document file. I don't want just a folder with one file. So let us take it, because this was an image. Let us assume that this is an image of a document. So I Control X I did, and now Control V I am doing. So now we have one folder. Image is free. I can delete it now. So this is deleting. Now I have a document folder. I have these document file, one text file, and one image file. I told you, I explained it you on Windows. This is absolutely similar to in Ubuntu. Okay, which one of the following shortcut keys is used to paste a file? Now you see here, these are the answers from your Ncert, CBSE. So Control C is for copy. Select any icon, any file, Control C, and Control X is cutting it. Control C will keep that file there and just copy it. Control X will remove that file, means when you cut it, Control X, it will take that file out of that particular place. And paste is Control V. When you do Control C or Control X, either of them, the Control V will do the pasting. This is Control C. Control X is, when you do Control X, that file will be deleted from here and will be pasted somewhere else. Control C will not remove that file. It will be in 2 locations if you paste it somewhere else. So the answer here is C. This is Control V is for pasting. Which of the following is a valid file extension for Notepad file? Notepad file we just saw in the example also is .txt. TXT is simply for text. .jpg is image. .doc is a document file. And .txt is not there. It is not valid also. Sometimes you will see extension of 4 letters also, JPG, right? .jpg, right? .docx. What keys do you use to copy something? So as I just earlier said, Control C is for copy, Control V is for pasting. Now let us take some subjective questions. How is a computer file system similar to our physical file system in a school? You can also answer for any establishment. So in any school, each teacher has a separate cabinet where they will keep different files for students, classes, different subjects, these separate shelves. Similarly, different teachers are keeping, they have their own shelves so that they can keep them properly, arrange them properly, and then access them in a good way, in a proper way with no time. So management, in order to manage them, this is how it is done. Similarly, when the information on a computer is being talked about, this is stored in electronic files which can be put into different folders, separate folders. So now I'm making different folders here, and the number of folders you can make, this will make the management of electronic file easier. And along with this, you can copy, move, rename, you can even delete the file. All the possibilities are there with you. So this is how you manage your work. What are the steps you will perform to save a text file in Ubuntu? So text file is saving, you can just open a text editor, write the content and save it. These are the simple 3 steps. Either it is Ubuntu, Linux, or either it is Windows, it will not matter much. So what do you do here? You will first create a file. Then you will be asked for a file name. Then you will open the file. You will write the content. Then you save it. If you want the same file, you can save as. You can use save as. So a similar file will be, same file will be saved or with another name, save as. So these are the ways. Okay.
Computer care and maintenance. So this computer, laptop or tablet, it is important to take care of them, to maintain them. The same way we take care of our belongings, our things, it may be your books, you always, cover it, clothes, wash every day and iron it, furniture, clean it every day, gadgets can be anything, it can be from washing machine to fridge to small to big electronic devices. Now this is very important to take care of your electronic devices. Why electronic devices you need to take care? It can be your computer, it can be your mobile, it can be your laptop, because this electronic device consists of a lot of machinery, very minute machinery. We shouldn't call it machinery basically. These are, say, electronics, soldering, like all these, diode, triode, etc. The way we take care of our body, we take bath every day, brush teeth, eat food twice or thrice a day. The same way we are doing this for our body, the body of a laptop or a computer has to be taken care. We have to take care of these devices also, because the computer is a very delicate machine. As I said, it has a lot of capacitor, diode, triode, wiring, all these. And there are so many moving electronic parts. The way we service our car, because it has electromechanical parts, we have fan, it's always working. We have fan inside our computer. So we need to protect it from the dust and all kinds of damage. Any kind of physical damage, dust is the adversary of any kind of computing devices. So computer mobiles, you see today, if you go for a good mobile, it normally ranges from, say, 20,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees. Okay, you convert it into dollars. Basically, you are buying computers and mobiles. They are quite expensive because they have very good computing power today. But the thing is, if you buy it today and it doesn't work after 3 months or 6 months, you have to spend this amount again. So why not to get rid of this situation? The only way is to take good care of these computer and mobile devices on a regular basis, right? For example, your battery, maybe you're working for 2 years. Why not to take care so that your system, your battery works for 3 to 4 years? You can use it for longer time, save money. What are the basic idea, tips, steps for taking care of your computing devices. There are very simple ways. These are very simple ways, can be done every time, everywhere. So any computing device, it can be a mobile, laptop, tablet, any of these, you have to keep your device clean. First thing is to keep your device clean. That is, the dust is the adversary, the dushman of your device. You have various peripheral devices, and inside also computer you have so many things: screen, keyboard, mouse, all these are peripheral devices. So first thing first is input. Keyboard is important. We always keep our keyboard and always, have our food, drinks there only. So keyboard has a lot of space inside it. The crumbs we are eating, say biscuit or say bread, these small crumbs of food, it goes inside it and it damages the internal part of your keyboard. So we need to clean a keyboard. Use a soft brush, because all these crumbs and dust particle, by the time it develops, you will not be able to know that it has actually hurted your keyboard. So use a very soft brush like this, if you see here, or either you can take a very cotton light cloth. You can also use a cloth, but your hand should be the cloth should be very gentle, very light on this keyboard. So you need to remove these crumbs, dust particles, or any other foreign material which is not required here. Coming to screen. Screen, mostly you don't touch screen that often, but even if you touch it and the dust is always there. So best way is to clean using an ultra soft cloth, cotton cloth. You can remove any finger mark. Don't put any kind of, say, liquid. There's special liquid which are there. You can put it on. Otherwise, the screen has on the background, it has electronic circuitry, so it can damage it. You can always use the liquid on your cloth and then do the cleaning. Right? Now be careful about food and drink. See here, the women, that particular thing, the coffee is spilled on the right hand side. If it happens on the electronic device, what will happen? It won't work. Electronic device, if your mobile electronic device is subjected to or contracted by any kind of water or moisture, it will be beyond repair. Let me tell you, liquid split, it will be beyond repair. You cannot do anything, because the motherboard, the electronic circuitry, all will die, and that will be beyond repair. You will not be able to fix it, that I can tell you. So just take very small step. Keep your coffee, keep your food away from it. While working, just work. While eating, just eat. Don't mix these two together. Handle your device very carefully. The way you handle everything else which belongs to you. This laptop is containing all your data. There are people who are earning from this laptop, this mobile, this tablet, this work, computing devices. This is your occupation. Some of the people have occupation. So avoid dropping it. Keep it close to your heart. Don't bang it on a hard surface, even inadvertently. Even a short fall can damage your screen or hard disk or different parts of your computing devices. So always take a bag. There are, pittu bag, that is the backpack that has some cover, that have cushion inside. So there are certain padded cases available. Always use while going from one place to another, or keep your laptop padded all the time, because you need to protect it damage while in motion, while you're moving somewhere. You will not be worried about, losing your laptop. You'll be worried about losing your data. Computer is now our life. These devices are now our life. The next thing is keep your computing device cool. In a computer, there is microprocessor. All the processing is done here. This is the brain. You have to give fan, cooling to this microprocessor, and because this heat is propagated, okay, it's all there in your computer. You have to have a cool environment. Why do you think we have a fan in your computer? Because your mobile device or your laptop, tablet gets overheated. When it gets overheated, the internal part can be damaged. So the CPU needs a fan all the time. There is a proper fan. See here, the gentleman, this picture shows that it's so hot now you can even fry a chicken here. Okay, so this is not only about microprocessor, because microprocessor is inside your computer, so there are all the parts which also get heated. So you have to keep a proper ventilation and a cool device. Make it cool. See, previously when the computer came, all the computer were kept in AC, air condition. Now the technologies have changed. They are now creating less heat, but still there is no way you can get rid of heat. Heat will always be there whenever there will be a computing device. Don't use while sitting in sun. No, don't use in a closed car. And see here, this gentlewoman is sitting on a bed. Now there is a cloth there. This might be covering the laptop fan or heating which is coming outside. So these are the vents which are there just for that. And if you cover it, finally the microprocessor will get overheated and it will burn. If the fan is not working, I'm going to tell you, the processor will burn. That is I've already checked it. So always see that there is proper ventilation and fan working all the time. Do not overcharge your battery. Now, we people, we have a tendency, sometimes we are disciplined and we always want that 100% battery should be there. If you go somewhere, 100% battery, that is always advisable. But when it is already 98%, why you need to plug it? Your laptop is 100% charged, why you need to plug it? This device is made on a battery just because it has to work on a battery. The battery has to be only put inside a jack when it has to charge. Not all the time, because it will overheat the battery. The energy, the heat produced, because battery, lithium ion, there are so many batteries type. It will reduce the battery life for sure. Normally battery would run for 1.5 to 2 years. If you always plug it in, this will run for this one. But if you don't plug it, it will go for 3 years, 2 to 3 years. Always unplug when your device is saying, I am done, I am charged to 100%. Don't overcharge your battery. Next thing is, always plug in device carefully. We are always in a hurry and we have power in our hand. We use it wherever it is possible. So in a laptop or a tablet or a computing device, you always have this USB port, we have Firewire port, we have the RJ45 port. There are so many ports here. The sound jack. But what we do, we just, all our energy we use here. Even if it is not going, we just force it inside the port. If it is not going, you must change the direction, because this is an electronic part. And if you try to wrestle with it, it will, by the time or in a short time, it will break. And again, that is not fixable, or it will cost you huge money. So just use, plug in very gently, very easily, very carefully. Okay? Because these devices are not meant for power, to show power. Plugging has to be so smooth that even the computer doesn't know that you have plugged something inside. Do not run too many programs at the same time. So we are very bright people. We are watching movie. We are downloading something on the background. We have some auditing or editing is done using Filmora, or say some Audacity, and some chat box is also open. We are chatting also. So we think, oh, we are so great. We are doing multitasking, but that is not good. That is not advisable. Do what you can do at one time, because all these applications are using resources of your computer. They are using resources, power, microprocessor, RAM, all these things are being used, and there will be overheating. The computer will become slow, they will crash. What will happen if you run a car on, always use a brake, and the tire will be depleted? Same thing here. These electronic devices are not invincible. So always run program for which is required. You can close other programs also. Let me give you an insight here. Whenever you want to run a program, it goes to RAM. RAM is limited. It's a semiconductor device. And then CPU will take content from RAM and the cache. The 2 GB, 4 GB RAM, even we have these, gaming systems, 3D gaming systems, they also, though we have the GPUs, graphic processing unit, but these are also producing heat. They are also depleting your resources. They are also making wear and tear on your electronic devices. So why not to run a program which you are working on? Why to run so many programs at the same time? It's going to hurt your computer in later course of time. Finally, what you do? The same thing this gentleman is doing. I'm sure that's not a dustbin, right? Okay, so just work gently. To maintain any computing device, we have to have a schedule. For example, a car. You will maintain it, you will do the service 6 to 8 months. Similarly, this computing device also, whether it is a computer or a laptop or a palm top, tablet or any other, any device or electronic device, we need it to run perfectly for a long time. For that, we need to have a proper plan and schedule for the maintenance. We want it to run for a longer time. So what do we do? How do we plan it? First thing to know about is a maintenance is of two types: preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance. Preventive maintenance, if something can happen, stop it beforehand. That is, if the dust is an adversary to your computer, try to clean it before or make the surrounding so that dust comes lesser. And corrective means something has happened, how to come out of that situation, how to repair it. So first we'll start with the day wise. So every day you wake up, you do your daily activities. Similarly, daily what you have to do is you have to clean up your email inbox. Email is what every one of us uses, everyone. So we get number of email, and if you have any email that has an attachment which is important, just save it. Coming to a weekly maintenance. So 7 days or 10 days, what maintenance you have to perform? You have to clean your keyboard, or I can tell you, or let me suggest you all the parts of the computer which are possible. Monitor cleaning, keyboard cleaning, mouse cleaning, CPU, printer, if it is possible that you can clean the CPU, not always possible with everyone. The printer, because printers, they are electromechanical, they are peripheral devices, and small dust or any kind of activity can hamper the workability. In a computer or any mobile, the data is very important. So the important thing is to back up your data. How to back up your data? Why to back up your data? You can transfer it to an external drive. Because if you lose data, what is the use of that laptop? And because this is a computing device, it is going to be malfunctioning sometime. It will be. So better is to always have a backup, and then you can retrieve it anytime some disaster or some malfunctioning happens. When we talk about monthly maintenance, that is in 30 days, what you have to do is you might be having a lot of photographs, it can be, and the documents, if it is personal, it is official, transfer it. Means don't just fill your drive. Organize photos into your folders and albums. Then you have a download folder, temporary internet file folder. There are so many folders in your computer, in your operating system. So clean up this download folder, clean up your temporary file, internet file, and even your recycle bin. The recycle bin is like the waste bag in your house. What do? You don't fill it up. You need to clean it every day or every second day in your house. Similarly, if you have 10 GB and you have deleted 2 GB, still 10 GB will be seen. Until you delete it from recycle bin, it will not be shown as 8 GB. So what programs and application you are not using? You are not using at all. Maybe you have installed it for some time, for some use. Uninstall it, clean it. There are disk cleaner software. Try to run this disk cleaner software, because the disk need to be as least overloaded as possible. You have to ensure that, and run full system virus scan, because virus is very dangerous to your data, to your computer, to your internet, to your network. So there are so many antiviruses there. So we have spams, there are so many things. So it is advisable to clean your system. What you would do on an yearly basis, that is called as annual maintenance. So you have contact list. This contact list can be your phone. This contact list can be your email. All these contact lists, now that you have not been using, or you won't use it for a long time. In operating system, what happens? You have bugs. There are problems, and in due course of time, people try to find out that this is the problem in your operating system, or some fix has been done. So how do you install that fix? This operating system, when they do, you have to update your operating system. So whenever there is an update coming, the first thing you have to do is update your operating system. And operating system updation along with the antivirus software renewal. Because people are taking it for 3 years, But the thing is, sometimes you just have for 1 year, and sometimes you are getting explanation or some notice that please renew it, or you're just ignoring it. No, you have to update, you have to renew your antivirus. And as I was talking about backup data, let us see that. What do you do when you have one thing? What is backing up? See, morning, just take an example of morning. You have toothbrush. I'm sure you will not have one toothbrush. You will have at least two toothbrush. Because sometimes you don't find it, sometimes it's not working or whatever. You will be having some redundancy, some duplicacy. Means anything you have, like your footwear. I'm sure that you won't have one footwear, you will have at least two. So whenever we are talking about data, which is so important in the form of information, so people don't have multiple laptops. Normally, the normal human being will have one laptop or one computing device on mobile. So if something happens to this computing device, what will happen to your data? You have not kept it somewhere else. So in order to get that data back, any computing device, you can have an external drive. You can have an external drive. It can be a CD, DVD. It can be some pen drive also. Pen drives are also, huge size today. Keep that data, back up your data regularly. If something bad happens, you can retrieve this data. You can get back this data. So you will not be losing your work. So data backup is important so that you can recover in case of any kind of disaster, either it be human made or man made. Because computer can crash. You and me are humans. We can make mistake. And if some commands you may run or delete inadvertently. But some natural disasters can happen. Floods and whatever. Some earthquake. So when we are talking about big companies, big hospitals, big banks, they need to keep their information safe, secure, and redundancy should be there, duplicacy should be there. For example, if you are running a business, say SBI Bank, and there is a Mumbai data center, and all the data is kept here. Now, there is some, flash rain or whatever. Then, what will happen to the customer if the data center is affected? What about the people? What amount they have, what is the FD, all these transactions will be hampered. So it is always required that the SBI Bank should have data centers, should have backup in Bangalore, in Chennai, even in Tripura. So if something bad happens, it is always there should be a possibility that you are able to recover it. So backup and recovery is so important that you will not realize right now, because most of the businesses, they run on this and they ensure backing up the data. You should also do that, right? So this is an important thing to do. Viruses, for example, some corona is there, some viral is there. What will happen to your body? You will get sick, you'll get ill, you'll have to go to the doctor. So similarly, the computing device also gets sick, ill. By whom? By what? By the viruses. So all the softwares and the apps are basically programs. They are written in C, C++, Java, some PHP or C Sharp, Python. So these are the programs. But if you understand like this, a policeman, what it will do? It will catch a burglar. So if the burglar is not there, there will be no police. So police is antivirus, the burglar is a virus, right? So we need, because there are people who are not good people, they have bad intentions, they have malicious intention, they want unauthorized access, they want to extract money, they want to do all bad. For them, we need antivirus. We need to clean our, if any virus is there, first we have to have a first line of defense. It should not come. Even if this viruses come, we need to have antivirus to clean them up, right? Like we have policemen to catch the thief. Similarly, we have antivirus as the policeman who is going to catch these viruses. Even if the thief enters and somebody calls 911 or 100, then we need to catch that virus and quarantine it or altogether delete it. That is what antiviruses do. So just see that there are so many antiviruses, there are so many good companies. You can have any of them and try. See, there are different type of antiviruses. One is for your system, one is for your internet, one is for spam. So there are so many versions of antivirus. So I will advise you to take the total security, all the kind of security that is possible, any threat, any kind of protection that can be controlled, that can be dealt by this antivirus software. Total security you should have for at least 3 years. So what will happen? Sometimes you will feel I'm not energetic. So you will take a Red Bull or any other energy drink. Similarly, computer also loses performance. Why loses performance? Why it becomes lethargic? Because when we are using a computer for a long time, it is filled by a lot of unnecessary files and data. That is temporary files, images, data. So many things are due course of time. They are filled in your computer, filled in your drives. So because of this, they are taking so much space. The performance of computer goes down because the computer is working on your application also and all these temporary files and images also. So the performance of computer goes down. So now it becomes very important that you clean all these extra files. That is, the files which are of not use. You can also use a disk cleanup software. So if you want a good computing service, that is, if you want your computing device to provide all good services to you, the best thing is to clean these drives, clean your system as you have got when you purchased it. Don't fill it. Don't fill your drives with enormous data. Make your habit to disk cleanup every 15 days or every month. Do this maintenance activity. Removing spam from your computer. I'll give an example. So there is a person who has come out and it's going to rain. Now he knows that it is going to rain and suddenly a person appears and he says, I have this umbrella. Do you want to buy it? The first person becomes happy. He will just take that umbrella for whatever cost. But if this person has come out with the umbrella and the person who he wants to send this umbrella approaches and says again and again, please take this umbrella, please take this umbrella. And the first person is saying, I already have an umbrella, I don't want it. So now the other person who is trying to sell the umbrella is a spam. So in your email, you will see there are so many emails coming from different advertising company, production companies, and you don't need them. You don't want that. For example, you might be getting email from Uganda King and Kenya King, and they say, UK, I have this much money, do this, that, do that, and I can give you billions of dollars. You know that is a fraud. You don't want that email because you don't want to consume everything what is fed to you on internet. So there are so many companies advertising a product, trying to attract you through their website or sending emails. These emails, these kind of attraction, unwanted attraction is spam. Okay. You might be, if you are somebody is calling on your phone, you can just cut down that phone or block it. Similarly, that kind of thing on email can be done using spam folder. So all the emails can be put or marked as spam. You will not be able to see, or you will not be dealing with that email again, because it will always go into spam. So this is always possible to set filters in the setting in order to stop this. These are all mail box filling. So it will directly go to spam. There are email software. They know what to do, so they will put them in this spam folder. They will automatically put all such emails that you have marked as spam in this spam folder. Sometimes, you have to remember, sometimes somebody emails you and you're not getting it. Sometimes it may go to spam, so you have to check it. So the spam is different and a trash or a recycle bin is different. Let us see the question and answer. These are the answers from your textbook only. What happens if you leave a device plugged in even after it is charged 100%? So when the device is already 100% charged, why would you want to plug it? Tell me, if you have already eaten till your neck, somebody offers you the best food, would you be able to eat? No, because you're already full. You're sumptuous. So similarly, this can be, we can have an analogy here, that when your device is already 100% and this device is meant to work on battery, so it can overheat. C is the answer. How can an antivirus protect your device? Viruses are those programs specially meant or written to harm you, to harm your computer, to harm your data. So how can this antivirus protect your device? So for that, the answer is it prevents data from getting corrupt. What is corrupt? Everything what you do on your system is, maybe you are earning from it, and that has to be secure. That can be only done through antivirus. Third is, which option is not required to keep a device cool? So in a computing device, there are so many circuitries, and the circuits, the motherboards, the microprocessor, they produce a lot of heat, and there is a propagative effect. The heat can affect the other parts also. It is always advisable to keep your device cool. The question is asking not required. So don't cover your laptop with the blanket, because there are vents which are specially made for the hot air to go out, to be flushed out. Make sure computer CPU fan is working, because if fan is not working, your CPU is going to die. It will burn. Avoid leaving that device in the sun. Even if you are in it's hot sunny day and you're still taking your laptop there, no. So the answer is, keep the device unplugged when in use. This is the A answer, which is fourth one now. Which of the following is essential for maintaining keyboard? The keyboard is for input. So why it is essential to maintain your keyboard, to take care of your keyboard? The answer is all of these. Just turn it upside down and gently give it a tap. So all the crumbs and material will come out. If you are having blower, then you can just blow the dust out, and you can use some cleaning agent, but don't use directly on the keyboard. Do use it on a cotton, very soft cloth, and then it should be non-abrasive. So then you can clean it gently, not very hard. So all of the above is the answer. Subjective question. Explain how to clean a computer on a daily basis. So we have discussed all this in this chapter. So let us see one more time. Clean your keyboard, soft brush use, clean your screen with soft cloth. Don't eat food or drinks near your computer. Handle your device carefully. Don't drop it. Don't bang it somewhere on a hard surface. Keep the computer cool. Always use AC if possible. Do not overcharge the battery, because this is designed to work on battery. Don't wrestle with your putting your jacks in your device like USB and others. Do not run too many programs at a time. How can you increase the performance of a computer? There's so many ways you can increase the performance. Sometimes when you see your computer has come for the first time, you love that computer because it's running so fast. But after 1 year, you see it has lost its luster, the charm, because you need to uninstall unnecessary software. You have to limit the programs at startup. There's so many programs at startup, so it takes time. Add more RAM to your PC, but you cannot endlessly add it. Check for any kind of viruses, worms, spyware. Use this disk cleanup and defragmentation. Defragmentation is basically the available memory is scattered, so you have to combine them. So there are softwares which are doing defragmentation. Consider a startup SSD. This is also one of the possibilities. Okay, this is all about this discussion. Here we are going to talk about the computer security and privacy. Not only the computer security, but also the computing devices, along with the internet security and privacy. So what do we need? What do we understand? And what should we do in order to safeguard ourselves, our computer? As we know that all of us store all of our information on either computers, mobiles, laptops, palm tops, that is electronic devices. For instance, your mobile will have photos, will have some passwords. School computers may have personal information related to the students as well as their parents. More importantly, banks, they are keeping the financial information of their consumers, customers, clients. For example, hospitals also, they are also keeping all the information about patients like Max, like Fortis. So all the information they keep so that whenever they are entered, they come up. All the past history comes up. This information is helpful for later purposes. But the thing is that these important information, if they get lost somehow, they are leaked somehow, or they go to or falls into those hands which are wrongful, which have malicious intent, and which are not intended to be given, they cause, or they will cause, a lot of harm, physical, mental, all monetary loss you can be confronted with. So you will have a name. You will be using some credit card. You might be using some debit card that will have some PIN number, some CVV code, some username, password, online banking. All these information just to make your life easier. These digital ICT have come just to make your life automated, easier. Now just think of an instance where this bank information, bank computer, hospital computer, or even your personal computer, the information, important information pertaining to all your life saving, this goes to some other person. You may lose a lot of money, not only money but mental peace. So it becomes essential that security and safety of your data along with the computing device that is carrying that data is important, is essential, is mandatory. Computer security. So this computer security, this is not only the physical security. This deals with protecting your computer, and computer is all about your information, your data, your content, your work. So the computer security and the privacy, it deals with the measures, the actions, the procedures used to prevent loss of data. For example, you might have written some code. Maybe you are a colony committee, say, secretary. Say you are a principal of a school and you have kept all the data. So these are different kinds of data, but they are important to certain group of people. For example, Facebook. Previously, people used to write everything about themselves. Where they are going, what is their birthday, what is the place of birth, everything was there. Today also. But if somebody hacks into your Facebook, knows all your information, somebody hacks into your Gmail, knows everything what you have been communicating, then just think about what can happen. You need to stop it. So you need to prevent the loss of data, security, privacy. So what are the reasons of security break? What does it mean, security break? See, you have a house, you have an establishment. Assume it to be your house or your department. This is under lock and key, but somebody gets a key, or in any way he or she is able to enter. When he is without your permission, if somebody is entering, that is a security break, security breach. And this will lead to leakage of information that is on your computer. So the information pertaining to you, personal information, how this gets lost, how this gets leaked, there are certain ways. So this is just to tell you how to be careful. But the first problem is that we are not careful. We are taking things very lightly. We are on internet, on phone, on messages. We are sharing our personal information. For example, some bank employee posing as bank employee says you have credit card problem, or you have Aadhaar card problem, social security number problem. Being a gentle people, we just believe in them, and they are not good people. We just share our account details, even our OTP, one-time password, or even you go to some unsecured site, that is the sites which are supposed to be made to get your information. So phishing, wishing, smishing, all these attacks, we are not careful. Just because we are not careful, we are subjected to all these adverse situations that our life will be hampered. The second is a person or a group of people, they get unauthorized access to your computer. You don't want them to be, but they enter. For example, if you leave your computer without even logging out, you close the banking website without logging out. So there are people who are always your adversary, or those people who have malicious intent. So they will try to steal your personal information. So computer security, information security, and privacy is about the measures we can think to restrict access to personal data which is stored in your computer, which is very important to you, which is very dear to you, and which is defining your life, money, information, family, everything. Threats. Somebody calls you and says, I'll do this thing to you. That is a threat. But what is a threat when it comes to computer? So if you're working on your computer, if you're working on internet, anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, there are emails also. There are always a chance of something bad is going to happen. These are threats. These are threats. That is, for example, if this is your floor, house floor, and the glass broke, while you're walking, there will always be a threat that glass piece can hurt your leg, your feet. It may happen, it won't. Never. But there is always a threat because that particular piece of glass is there. So that is a threat, and we need to be aware of these threats. And we need to take action. First, we need to understand what are threats. So threats are the ways in which your information, normally your personal information, that can be leaked without even you being told or without you being aware of. So these are threats. Information just goes without your permission, without you being knowing. So first thing comes is theft, chori, burglary. Theft is all about stealing of information and even the computing device that we are calling as hardware. It can be a laptop, it can be a mobile, it can be a tablet. So this amounts to the hardware theft as well as the information theft. Whenever you go, you might be subjected to some pickpocketing, or someone has stole some your content. So first thing is physical. This is the actual stealing of your physical device, computer or laptop. There is one more kind of theft, identity theft. So here a person, generally we call him as hacker, he steals your personal information and he takes your identity because he knows everything about you. So now he will pose that you are logged in or you are on your computer. Bank detail, credit card, OTPs, everything he is having because he has cloned your mobile. So he's taking your identity, which is a false identity. And because he is you or she is you, the hacker has gained access to you. And now he or she is able to perform all the illegal activity on your behalf. He is doing the wrong thing. You will be reprimanded under the law. This is identity theft. So you need to be very, very vigilant, careful. No one should take your personal identity. All this information are dear to you, important to you. Keep it in your lock and key. Now, software piracy. A software is being made, say Microsoft Windows or say Microsoft Office. Without any licensing, without any fees you have paid, you are using it. And you are not only using it, you are distributing it to different people. This is software piracy. Those people who have made this software, they also have family. They also have to feed their children, but you are just using it. This is unlicensed distribution. For example, a movie takes a lot of effort to make program, and then when it is about to release, it is released on internet using the piracy. So the unauthorized copies of the computer program, computer software, and there are many others. This is software piracy. Viruses. What are viruses? Coronavirus, COVID-19. Any other virus. Let me talk about bacteria, fungi. All these are harmful to us. There are certain which are good for us also, but viruses are normally bad for us. And your body will tell you, oh, you have got fever, you are sneezing, all these, you know. So computing device will give you a hint, surely, that there is a virus. It is going to affect or it has already affected. And it is not affecting in a good way. The virus has an intent of damage, malicious intent. So these are basically, viruses are nothing but programs only. The software you use, the apps you use, these are all good softwares. They are written in programming language. Similarly, in different programming languages, there are people who are bad people and they have bad intent, malicious intent, and they are writing these viruses in order to say steal something, to damage you, or just as fun. So viruses are computer programs who are made to damage your data, damage your information, damage your system. All intent is damaging, to steal your information. So there are different types of viruses. There are so many categories. Two of them we are going to discuss here. Worms and Trojan horses. Worms, just have an idea about these worms. They are self-replicating. Worms are viruses only. Similarly, Trojan horses can also be termed as viruses. So viruses or virus that replicate themselves, they spread everywhere without any piggybacking. This is worms. They are just replicating. Now it becomes difficult and almost impossible to remove them. They have all the damaging effect on your computing device, on your information. So worms, they don't need any piggybacking. Virus needs some program so that it gets attached, and they need some kind of event to initiate. Worms doesn't need that. Worms, when it enters your system, they know they don't need any, just network they need. They just replicate. That is why they are dangerous. That is why removing them is a task, big task. Privacy.
We talked about the threats. Threats are those things, those scenarios which can hurt us, probably, not every time. We talked about theft. Theft is physical stealing, it can be. It can be someone stealing your identity. It can be piracy without even paying any amount if you are using any software or distributing, that is software piracy. Viruses, these are computer programs that damage the data, information. It can be of various form. The more important is worms and Trojan horse. Worms, they replicate themselves. They don't need any piggybacking. They just spread every time, attack computer through the internet, various other means. Trojan horse. What is a Trojan horse? It was in a story. So what happened here was one king was not able to defeat the other one. So now he decided to gift a horse to the adversary. But this horse was containing the soldiers. It came as a gift. So it was disguised. So this Trojan horse is a virus which is disguised. That is, it will show you that I am friend of yours. This horse was kind of a friend, but when it reaches there, all the soldiers came out and they attacked. That is, the behavior of virus and destruction will take place, though you are thinking that this Trojan horse is our friend. It's just a virus, just meant to attack you without even you knowing. Trojan horse is one of the kind of virus like the worms. Online predator. What does it mean? You have seen the boys, the men, they try to allure women, girl, and they just want some inappropriate relationship. They want to trap them. They just want to use their body. These are online predator. Online you will find various people like this. Their main intention is to hurt you. For example, a 50 or 45-year man posing that I am 15 or 18 year and talking to a girl. Then after that, you will face bullying. And there are so many illegal activities online that can be a result of bullying. Online predators all fall in this category. Internet scams. Scams are to hurt you, to promise you something else, give you something else. That is, sometimes, various times, on internet, on email, on Gmail, on various platforms, you get various attractive offers. These attractive offers are saying that you have got a huge money or even you have won a lottery. What will you do? If you're getting $1 million just for say $100 or $1,000, that is, you will pay the money to claim the prize. You will deposit the money in their account without even knowing that this is a scam. But when you deposit this money, not only your money goes in vain to the people who have malicious intent, but also the credit card, the online banking that you have used, that is to deposit money, this can be later misused in any of the illegal activity. So scams are hurting you in multiple ways. The best way is to be careful on internet, is to be very, very skeptical. Protecting your data. Now your data and information is the most important thing which you have in your computing device. The protection is your duty because there are people who are thieves. There are people who are making viruses. The same way, you don't leave your money outside your house. You don't leave your stuff outside your house. There are people who are always there to grab it. And if they don't get, they can hurt you in different ways. So thief, viruses, all are there on internet, like the normal people on the road. What you can do on internet, you are just known as a login and a password. For you, it may be different username password. For me, it's a different username and password. So we are only known, or we are only present on internet by these. So if somebody grabs it, somebody gets hold of your login and ID and password, that is, you have opened your house, that is, you have allowed people to come in, you have opened your house, you have given the key, you have given the password, or in some way people gets your password, then you cannot complain. So you have to have a password, that is the lock which you are using in your house, should be so strong that even if someone tries, even with a supercomputer, he may not be able to break your password. What have you to do? First thing, there are certain things before that. Minimum 8 characters you have to use. Maximum it can be anything, but minimum 8 characters. Why 8 characters? Because there are certain programs which use the brute force technology, and they can just get hold of your password in no time. They can break that password. Normally we use our name, our kid name, our pet name. So 8 characters minimum. Use the small case. Use the uppercase. Means I am talking about the combination. Not only small case, you have to include a small case, you have to use the uppercase, you have to use the numerals, that is the numbers. These numbers, small case, uppercase. Along with this, you have to use the special characters. Special characters, that is percentage, that is a cap sign or hash or a dollar. So password, I'll just make a password. I'm using the small letters A, B, C. Now I'm using the uppercase letter. Now I'm using numerals, numbers, and then finally I'm using the special characters. So this kind of password you have to use. Don't worry about forgetting. There is always forgot password to you, means it is being given by the different platforms. Don't worry about that. Computer science people are so advanced, they can break your password. Make strong one. Now install antivirus and pass firewall. What do you see in normal houses? If you go to Western countries, you won't find any fences most of the time. But now they have fences. People have fences around their house. They have a gate. They may have some chowkidar, or you can say some security person here. Why they do it? The problem is that there are people, they are burglar, they are thieves. They may come inside. So for that, we need antiviruses. We need firewalls for our computer, for our internet security. That is, we need different levels of security if we want to safeguard our data, our computer, our computing device. Whenever you get connected to internet, whenever you connect your computer to any network, there are so many people who gets connected to you. That is, you are open to the whole world. Now, when you're open to whole world, anybody can come, anybody can breach in, anybody can attack. For that, you have to have safeguard. There are so many viruses being made. So in order to stop them, if not, they came inside your computer to destroy them, to quarantine them. For that, we have softwares called antivirus. Similarly, we have firewall. Previously, a king would make or dig a kind of ditch, and then they will lit a fire. So any other person, any other king, any other adversary, they want to come inside, they can't, because they have to face this fire, and sometimes there will be wall also. They will fire the wall. This is kind of firewall. So antivirus is specifically for viruses. They detect they stop and they kill the viruses. Firewall is for different packets. Data comes in packet form. Packet is going, packet is coming through your network, inside your network, outside your network. So, like the dog sniffs the different luggage on the airport, similarly, firewall sniffs every packet and then, depending upon certain laid down rules, it stops that packet, it drops that packet. It won't allow those packets to come inside or even to go outside. For example, these are the words you don't want, these are the country you don't want. So there are certain pet rules that you can define, that other people can also define. So firewall can be a hardware, it can be a software as well. Encryption of data. Sometimes you talk in your native language whenever some other person comes. Why do you do that? Why do you talk in your native language? This is because you don't want the other person to understand what you're speaking to your family people. That is a kind of encryption you do. Encryption. Why is it necessary? Because your data is going everywhere on the network, on the internet. So there are people, man in the middle, denial services. There are so many people who can attack. They can get the data. They can get hold of your data. Even see, if you talk about bank cannot keep the data in normal form. It has to be in encrypted form. Otherwise, anybody gets hold of the data, he will just damage the world, right? Damage the customers. So all the important data, especially related to financial activities, these need to be encrypted. Encrypted. What is encryption? Encryption means the way you say it should not sound that way. That is, there has to be some key. On that basis of key, the data need to be transformed. It needs to be changed and then again reverted back. That is, for example, if somebody gets that data, your data, for that it will be a waste until he knows how to decipher it. He knows how to decrypt it. For example, in Windows, we have BitLocker. You can encrypt whole your drive. For example, if you have A, B, C, D, E, F, just give some number here. Now, if you want to transfer B and D, you don't transfer B, D. You can either transfer 2 and 4 or you can add one more kind of encryption. Now you can go 2 steps ahead in the number. For B, send 4. For D, send 6. When you're sending for B4, D6, nobody is getting BD. Only they are getting 4, 6. That is, 4 and 6 is a waste for them. They will not be able to know that it was actually BD. So you have encrypted it. But when somebody wants to really learn about what you send, 4 has to be converted to B, 6 has to be converted to D. That is called decryption. That is the reverse of encryption. And this decryption is just to prevent any kind of unauthorized usage. So, encryption of data. Secure site. There are various sites which are insecure. They are posing as good website and they are going to hurt your computer or data. Previously, all the HTTP websites, now they are HTTPS. HTTP are insecure. HTTP websites are insecure. HTTPS, S stands for Secure Socket Layer. Secure Socket Layer. This data, you are going to give your bank detail. You are going to give you all the personal information. HTTPS is secure. It won't harm you. For example, banking data, it is safe here, but not on HTTP. You need to have a lock symbol along with HTTPS. Remember. Let us take the question and answer here. What should you do to ensure secure online transactions? Online transactions, these are the answers taken from your book only. Online transactions, secure online transactions. That means that when you are on a bank, whenever you are taking a money from your bank, do you pose it in front of other people? You always keep it in your bag. You always keep it inside. You don't show it to everyone. So,
in online transactions, you are on internet, you don't show everything. Okay, you don't go to websites that are unsafe, that can get hold or steal your credit card or bank detail information. In order to have secure online transaction, it has to be encrypted, it has to be not stealing your data. There are people who are there to get all these. They even clone your mobile to get OTP. So give credit card or bank details only on safe websites. Always on safe website, HTTPS, along with a log sign. You know that this website is secure. So give information only when you are very sure. Which of the following traps small children into inappropriate relations? Especially the small children and the young girls. Who are these people? There are so many. They have a trap. They lay a trap. These are online predators. They just want to get hold of young girls, small children. Then they may use them physically, abuse them physically, or they may bully them, or they can make their life hell. They can even sell them. So inappropriate relation, they can take photographs, put it on internet. These are online predators. We need to be very careful. We need to guide, we need to tell our kids, don't fall in this trap, especially the girls. This is my advice to you. Never ever fall into inappropriate relation. People you don't know, don't even accept friend requests or don't even talk. Just be with your family and people you know very well. Okay? Online predators are everywhere. Especially the girls 13 plus who have got their puberty, right? Online predators. Coming to the next one. What should a strong password consist of? A strong password is that password that other people cannot break. Letters should be there. Smaller case, uppercase. Combined with the numbers 0 to 9. Combined with special character, percentage, dollar, like this. So minimum 8 characters plus. Let us now see these subjective questions. Explain how Trojan horses work. Trojan horse, I gave you an example. It was a kind of a horse. I cannot make a horse. You have to bear with me with this drawing. Assume it to be a horse. It's more like a mouse, I guess. So there were two kings actually. One of the kings sent a horse, and this horse seemed to be a gift, and the other king was happy. But this gift was not a gift. It was a Trojan horse. Inside this horse, there were soldiers who are going or who are willing, ready to attack the other king and their people. So now this Trojan horse is a virus, is a malicious code, is a software that would look like a legitimate, friendly computer, say program or app. But it is going to take control of your computer. This is specially designed to harm your computer without even you knowing that you are attacked. You are under the influence of this malicious code. It can steal your data. It can itself manage your data. It can change the data by itself. This will harm your computer, your network, and whatnot. So this Trojan horse is like a friend disguised, okay? Or say enemy disguised as your friend. Be aware of it. Don't download or go to any other website which is not legitimate. List the various ways you can use to protect your data. There are various ways to protect your data from any kind of theft and viruses. First is password. Use different kind of characters, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and the symbols. Antivirus and firewalls, they are the barriers to the outside world, which sometimes be bad also.
Viruses, antivirus attack them. Firewall guards you. Encrypt your data. Go to secure sites that are credible. Don't go to any other website which is just HTTP. This is all about this discussion. Thank you so much and take care of yourself.